Today, I want to talk to you about how to optimize health for men. And this is a really important topic because a lot of men rely on their partners or spouses to give them advice and tips on what supplements to take. Often, we as women in our households are supplying our gentlemen with supplementation. So today, I'm going to offer some advice for any of you ladies who want to power up and support your male partners in health and enhance their wellness, as well as any of you gentlemen looking for some basic guidance to help support your overall health. And this is going to really support and supplement any of the good, healthy lifestyle habits and maybe current lifestyle changes you're implementing where you're eating healthy foods, maxing out your sleep, and lowering your stress. So the first and most important thing for men to consider taking is a whole food, plant-based supplement. And this is really, really critical because the multivitamin that has a good amount of bioavailable plant-based nutrition can really create a foundational piece where you get a lot of the daily requirements of your nutrients. And a lot of health issues, when we look at aging and degeneration within the body, a lot of our problems or challenges ultimately come back to nutrient deficiencies. So I'm very excited to recommend the multi-vita-maxx. This is our plant-based, powerful multivitamin. You're going to get all the required daily requirements of both your vitamins as well as key minerals like magnesium and zinc and chromium, which is really important for gentlemen looking to balance their blood sugar levels. I also like that this is a fermented form of a multivitamin, which enhances the bioavailability of this nutrition. Now, the second thing that's really important is for gentlemen to support their gut health. We have a term that we reference to the balance of bacteria in the gut, and we call it the microbiome. That's an assortment of bacteria that we want to be balanced, and we want it to be very plentiful and very similar to like a coral reef. We want to have multiple types of bacteria that create this kind of rainbow cascade of good bacteria that balances our body. And in one of my master classes, I host master classes every month. I have one of my master classes that digs into mastering your gut health and ultimately supporting your gut microbiome. One of the things I share in that class is that the microbiome, our microbes, the actual bacteria, enhances our hormone levels, and it can actually influence our immune system, and it can influence the inflammatory response in the body. So for any gentleman who might be dealing with diabetes or gout or liver imbalances, maybe elevations in cholesterol and triglycerides, or even gentlemen who might be dealing with prostate imbalances, it's really important for us to look at adding a good probiotic. And we have probiotics, which is a very powerful form of L. plantarum, which we know is one of the super plentiful bacteria types that can help culture and rebalance your gut. So making sure you get a good probiotic can be very beneficial in enhancing your overall gut health, which can balance your digestive grievances like IBS or SIBO or gas and bloating after consuming a meal, but it can also power up our brain health and balance our hormones. Now, another thing that is really important for men is to address inflammation. Ultimately, inflammation is the root of all illness and disease within the body. And systemic inflammation is something we need to combat. And signs or symptoms of inflammation can be swelling. It can be elevations in enzyme levels like our ALT and AST. Those are labs that identify enzyme levels in our liver. We will present with hormone imbalances. Men will have elevations in prostate markers like PSA will be elevated or experience benign prostatitis. Other individuals might experience heart disease. And so rooted behind all of these illnesses and diseases is ultimately inflammation. Our cells, our cytokine process is overwhelmed and heightened. And there are really two ways that I use some supplementation here to combat inflammation. The first thing is magnesium, a very well-balanced multi-magnesium, like we have magnesium 7. This can be really helpful in minimizing inflammation that gentlemen experience in their joints. Maybe you have joint pain or osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis and even gout. Swelling is a byproduct of inflammation. So if you notice you're holding more fluid, magnesium 7 is what I recommend. I'm kind of an expert in the swelling category. I specialize in lymphatic therapy, which is all about moving the excess fluid in the body. We use magnesium to flush fluid out of the body, and it'll flush fluid through the kidneys and bladder. And you might notice a reduction in fluid retention of upwards of 3 to 5 pounds on the scale. So magnesium 7 is great for lowering your inflammation levels. And then last and final is at the age of 30, for all of us, men and women, we have a reduction in stomach acid levels, and we start to notice that the pancreas is not producing enough digestive enzymes. That ends up leading to digestive grievances, imbalances in our digestive process, an inability to digest our food, assimilate the nutrients, and power up the body. That can also lead to constipation and leaky gut and gut brain, gut heart, gut thyroid imbalances. So one of the best ways to combat this lowered stomach acid level and a reduction in digestive enzymes that your pancreas is producing, which by the way, can often be an undercurrent for diabetes. Enzyme 17 is something you want to add to your daily practice. And this is something where you take 2 of these supplements about 20 to 30 minutes before you consume a meal. Enzyme 17 is one of the most plentiful enzyme blends that is out there on the market. It's one of my favorite products we have here at Organixx, and it can help your body digest and break down the assorted macro and micronutrients that you need to support your body. Additionally, here's a bonus tip that I tell all my patients. If you are dealing with any inflammation, or maybe you have digestive imbalances, you notice maybe they're food particles that you're passing in your bowel contents, enzyme 17 is something you can take at night on an empty stomach, and it will help reduce the digestive grievances and will help clear up systemic inflammation. So that's a little bonus tip. But overall, these 4 items are going to be very helpful in supporting overall men's health and are basic foundational elements that every gentleman should add to his daily supplement regimen. So that's my tip for you, and I hope you share that with any of the gentlemen in your life. And gentlemen, if you have any questions about health and wellness, make sure you comment and hit that reply button, and I will be taking questions and answering them in future videos.